Fear not, citizens. Hope has arrived because we are back with My Hero Academia, chapters 346 and 347. If you're new here, this is the Amateur Otaku Podcast where we're covering everything in the world of anime and manga, and specifically My Hero Academia. We probably cover just about everything you can hope for when it comes to this series, except for World Heroes Mission. I think we still need to pump out a review for that, surprisingly enough. Anyway,
Yeah.
joining me, as always, are my great friends, co-hosts, brothers, Leo Rydell and Isaac Wolf. Guys, it's been a minute. I'll start with you, Leo. How have you been, man?
I've been good. I'm really tired. Daylight savings definitely did its thing. Jumping forward here an hour. Can feel it.
Yep.
Yeah, was out late, so very tired. But hey, man, I'm ready to talk some MHA. Look, this week's chapter has got me very, very worried for a group of characters.
Yeah, this chapter, like last week, we didn't record for last week, so we're doubling up today. And last week's chapter had me pissed because I'm like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And it's like, oh, we're clear. And now it's like, we're in danger. Even worse than last week. And I'm scared.
Even worse.
Isaac, how are you doing, buddy?
First of all, I think it's very weird to say that you guys are probably more tired than I am now, which is just what sorceress is this? And second of all, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I don't trust theirs because they're always up to something.
Okay. I'm too tired to have any kind of response to that. Daylight savings time hit me like a truck because I'm like, I'm going to finish some work. It's a little after 1 a.m. I'll go to bed right away. Things are good. The clock went from 1:59 to 3, and I am still pissed. Like, I don't think it's ever hit me that hard until today.
You take a nap before we do Attack on Titan, good sir.
Oh, see, Isaac, the people listening to this are in the future, so we've already done Attack on Titan. It's in the bank and earning interest. So we're gonna start with chapter 346, which is super hyper unfair broken stage. Which did Bakugo name this chapter? Like, what the heck?
Probably.
In this chapter, we kind of follow up from what happened previously. If you guys can't remember what happened in 345, everything was going well. We had the villains separated, and Deku gets yanked out of his group, and he's now with Himiko Toga, and he was supposed to be with Bakugo and the team fighting Tomura Shigaraki. So we're picking up with Team Bakugo, and they are struggling because this entire plan was dependent upon having Deku there. And honestly, I feel like they had a very good support system in place. Like, you have Cementos, Ectoplasm, Power Loader, Creati, and Mei Hatsume constantly repairing like this floating dome, which I feel like is a reference to Marvel Comics, Genosha, Magneto's like hidden away temple. Or it could be a reference to Sokovia from Age of Ultron when they kind of lifted up the city and dropped it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Age of Ultron. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's like whenever you see something that's remotely similar to a Western comic thing, I kind of feel like Horikoshi's doing that intentionally. But like, it's a really interesting setup because we have all these heroes like constantly repairing everything so decay doesn't, destroy this entire facility. We even have Charge Bolt in manga and a bunch of other like electric heroes types reinforcing like a force field to keep Shigaraki inside. And then we have Phantom Thief and Eraserhead using Eraser to keep Shigaraki's quirks at bay. Things like, if Deku was here, this fight would be over, right? That's the frustrating thing about that chapter, is that if Deku was there, I feel like they would win pretty easily. Am I wrong there?
Easily? I don't know about that. Especially if Eraser's not in effect. I think they'd have a hell of a buffer if Eraser is in effect. Yeah, I guess you're right that there would be definitely an upper hand. I don't know about easily though. It seems to me like Shigaraki has some stuff up his sleeve. But
Literally.
Deku needs to hurry. Deku needs to haul ass.
Yeah. That's what's interesting though, because I'm saying like if everything went according to plan, I think they have a pretty easy time because think about what happened during the Star Strike battle. Or think about what happened at Kamino with All for One. These guys are still standing without Deku, is my point of like if Deku was there, I feel like they would have the upper hand. I don't know how easy that fight would be, I guess, but I feel like this was a very strong plan. Unfortunately, Toga had to go and ruin everything. Isaac, do you have any thoughts on like the mechanism and the plan that the heroes had to trap Shigaraki, even though it didn't go the way they wanted to? Isaac?
I didn't hear what you say. Can you repeat that?
What are your thoughts on chapter 346?
Honestly, it's a very scary chapter, especially the last page.
Yeah, so the last page
That's for
ends with
certain.
the last page ends with Midako getting like engulfed in like a million hands. And if it's not for Monoma and Aizawa, she's dead. Right? She's toast. It's very similar to, you guys remember the end of a little indie film that not a lot of people talk about, Akira? That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting from Shigaraki the last couple of chapters. And I think it's interesting on how like erasure is still in effect, but that quirk, or Shigaraki's equating it to like he's just evolved. He's no longer really human, right? The same way you grow your hair or your nails, he's growing these crazy powerful arms. And if Monoma blinks, everything's destroyed, which is a lot of pressure for this guy, considering he's not Aizawa. It's pretty tough. I just want to backpedal right quick. Like Leo, did you think Midako was going to die when you read chapter 346?
Yeah. I was like, well, there we go. One bites the dust. I've got a theory for the end of the new one's 347, right?
Yep.
I've got a theory for that one I'll save, but yeah, I thought she was definitely toast. I was like, well, there goes the first one. Everybody else might want to get out the way.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Like, missing a week isn't great, but I feel like it was a good thing we missed last week because I probably would have came in here pissed that we were about to kill off another female character.
Yeah, amen.
And it's like, whew, okay, got upset for nothing. We cool. Still, she's probably in even bigger danger now than she was at the end of that chapter. So we'll see.
Amen.
How that goes. So that takes us into the next chapter, the current chapter, 347, inflation. And this is when the wheels start to fall off. The heroes had a great plan. Everything was perfect. Even last chapter, like it wasn't ideal Deku not being there, but it still felt like they were in control of the situation until Shigaraki starts manifesting new abilities that nobody knows about. In this chapter, Mirko and Bakugo are bickering about who's going to fight Shigaraki. And then you realize, oh my gosh, they're the exact same character. How am I just now noticing this?
I know. That was awesome.
It's so good. I want more of these two. It's a shame that we're at the end of this series because I feel like if he did his internship with Mirko, it would just be a riot.
Yeah.
100%.
So it's up to Nejire, Best Genus, Sun Eater, Edge Shot, Dynamite, and Midako to hold off all for Shiggy. And again, Monoma is doing his best, but he can't stop whatever powers are manifesting in this new body for Shigaraki. And again, like we said earlier, if he blinks, or if he switches to Warp Gate to bring Deku over, he risks them being decayed because Shigaraki will just decay them instantly. And so, like you said earlier, Leo, Deku's going to have to fly down there at super speed. I don't know quite how far. We don't know how far Deku is from this battle site, but he's gonna have to like run right now. Does anybody else have a warp quirk or anything that can kind of get him there faster? Because I feel like they're gonna die if Deku's not there by next chapter. They're probably going to die.
So I could see, and this might be a stretch, what if they do get decayed and a certain quirk and person shows up at the right time, reverses their bodies, and they come back to life, and it's Eri.
So you're thinking that we're going to make another Avengers reference and blip them all back?
Yes, 100%. I mean, would you put it past Horikoshi?
I wouldn't, and that's what scares me.
Like, could you imagine them decaying and like it's just like Bakugo's eye left, and then all of a sudden they like rematerialize, and Eri and Lemillion show up?
That'd be sick. Lemillion's wearing her like the backpack this time.
Yep. We got the cape on. Like, dude, that would be a perfect show up.
That would be pretty cool. It would like you can't do a sequel to My Hero Academia once you start introducing Eri's power evolving in that way, because she would just fix every problem ever.
Yeah, I think the one like caveat would probably be if they were like completely evaporated, she couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying like if she catches them mid decay, she can reverse it, but if they're completely gone, that makes sense. It's a decent handicap. That would be a crazy introduction. That'd be a crazy cliffhanger. Like imagine it just ends with Bakugo being decayed, and then next week is when we pick up, and it's just like rip reverse. That would make people flip.
Right? Oh God, I don't think I could take seeing like Bakugo being decayed like that. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, it would be awful because like they're in the awful situation, and I don't really know how you get them out of this unless Deku just runs at the speed of light. Like, what if his final quirk is just the Flash? He just gets there in 5 seconds. That's where things get kind of dicey for me. And Isaac, you can let us know what you think about this. Of like the B plot where we kind of go back. Mandalay of the Wild Pussycats is here, and her quirk allows her to basically be a radio between everybody. And so Deku contacts her, tells her what happened, and Eraserhead's like, you need to get over here as soon as possible. They probably won't last much longer. And Deku tells us that he's stuck with Toga. And then something interesting happens where we learn that Frappy and Sirius are with Gang Orca, and that Deku and Uravity are separated from them. So we don't know what happened. Maybe I missed something, but how did Deku and Uravity and Toga get separated from Frappy, Sirius, and Gang Orca? That seemed like a little inconsistency from 2 chapters ago, but maybe I just missed something. Also, fun fact, Sirius is an anime-only character who just made her first official manga appearance, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, shit. Yeah, good observation. I think maybe they just probably ran a little ahead of everyone and are still within the same vicinity because you could see Frappy shouting at them. So I think it's possible that they're not that far behind.
Yeah. I feel like they're in the same area, but I feel like that last shot from chapter 345, I'm pretty sure isn't Sue next to Uraraka? In that, I'm just gonna open that chapter right quick. Give me a second.
By
They're
the
all right
way,
next to each other.
Deku got that scarf on. Man, that looks cool on him.
Looking like Mikasa.
Yeah, man.
No, but what are you guys' thoughts on what's going on with Toga? Like, she didn't activate Danger Sense. Do you think that that checks out, or are you like, that's kind of cheap?
She's not evil.
Mhm.
I think that's almost a straight confirm that she's maybe not a threat, and that the "for you to be my boyfriend" line is like an actual truth.
I mean, that's Toga's entire motivation the entire time, though. I don't think she's had any sort of change of heart. Like, her twisted view of the world is she stabs and hurts the people that she loves. That's her way of showing love to them, is by stabbing them, drinking their blood, blah blah blah. And so I was wondering, is it Danger Sense just saying, hey, in Toga's mind, stabbing you isn't a threat? Or is it the flip side of like what you're saying, Leo, that she's actually just not a threat and she's not here to hurt anyone? Because I'm not sure how to take what the fourth user was saying when he was talking to Deku about it.
Yeah, he said it's not recognizing the threat she poses as actual danger.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it would be a little bit more in line with what you're saying, that she sees it as not a threat. So then Danger Sense doesn't necessarily register it as that.
So like Venom and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of be the same thing that I've been saying here as well. That, I mean, she's not actually a threat. That's just kind of that's how her quirk works. Like,
yeah. Isaac, you've been very quiet, my dude. What are your thoughts on anything that's been going on?
I mean, I don't really know what to add on what you have been saying. I was trying to see how they were split up in the latest chapter that you talked about when you two were talking, and I must also have missed something because I can't see where that split happened, if so to speak.
I'm literally looking at it right now, and
4,
Sue is right next to Uraraka in that panel. I guess we're just supposed to assume that Deku and Uraraka probably just pursued Toga and Sue stayed behind. It's not that big a deal. It's just weird. Like, wait, why are we acting like they're not in the same spot?
I mean, I think she just like popped up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I will say, I think you're right. You're right on the money, Mike, because it even says in the chapter that when she hurts people, she does so out of pure, genuine affection.
Yeah.
So it seems to just be like Danger Sense doesn't see it as a danger because she doesn't.
Yeah, which is weird, but I'll allow it, I guess. It's strange.
Kind of goes on the. Sorry to cut you off. It kind of goes on the whole like, are the villains really villains? Like the League of Villains, are they really villains? Besides Dobby, I mean, clearly, I think all of them are just maybe in the wrong place, wrong time, and also just want a place to belong.
Yep, all it takes is one bad day, right? They've all just had that one bad day. Especially Tenko. God, that's a tragic origin story. That makes me tear up every time I think about it. Do you guys think we're going to get any weird love triangle nonsense from that "you want to be my boyfriend" thing at the end?
I know. Are we going to get like a Uraraka takes her down type deal? Deku's mine. Like, I don't think so. But we could very well. She could very well get in the way. Like Uraraka might tell him to like run ahead as she takes on Toga if it comes down to something like that.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time, you guys know this, that Toga is Uraraka's villain, right? So whatever's going to happen, Uraraka is going to be the one to put an end to the conflict. I just don't know how. And her popping up saying, "I want you to be my boyfriend," at the end of this in front of both Deku and Uraraka is just like, I just hope this isn't cheesy, whatever the resolution's going to be.
Yeah, I don't think Uraraka looks like shunted by that.
Yeah,
like she doesn't look too like affected, I don't think. So it could totally just boil down to a scenario of like, she's like, Deku, I got this, run ahead, you gotta get to the others, and then it begins their battle. Which, if we shift the perspective to those two battling for the next like 5 or 6 chapters, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I I would be cool with that in any other situation, but I got to make sure Bakugo and Mirko survive.
Man, you know how these manga do. They be stretching it out, bro.
Yeah. We probably won't get back to that for another month at this point. One
Maybe
detail I love about that
two.
Toga panel is that you see all the chaos and all the people dying behind her, and she's just focused on Deku being her boyfriend. It's that is a perfect Toga panel. That encapsulates everything about her character. Sorry, Isaac, were you saying something?
100%.
Oh. Hello, Isaac, were you saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying that I'm agreeing with you. I have technical difficulties today. I apologize, people.
No worries. No worries. I'm interested to see how Best Genus and the crew kind of deal with Shigaraki, because we know he's tough even without the quirks, because Deku fought him without quirks in the last war. But I'm especially like seeing, I kind of like the detail of like Mirko getting like Iron Man parts just like delivered to her. Like she got a new arm, a new leg, which is kind of cool. Also, I just want you guys to remember that Lunch Rush is cooking food for Creati so she can keep creating things. So do you think that they can like airdrop some crazy meals for Sun Eater so he can, you know, go full kaiju on Shigaraki?
I mean, they're gonna need to. Here's the thing: is like I think each and every one of them are gonna need to go their quirks absolute limit here.
Yeah.
Shigaraki is no damn joke, and honestly, God, I will be real. I would love to see Bakugo and Shigaraki battle.
That would be crazy. What if like we keep saying Deku and Shigaraki was the end goal? What if it was
Bakugo? We are predicting that this. Sorry.
Oh no, are you, Isaac?
I was just saying we are predicting that he is going to die. So.
No, that's the thing though. What if he doesn't? What if that's just like he beats Shigaraki and Deku beats All for One? What if that's just how this boils down, right? Like, as fans, I feel like fans have been putting a lot of weight and pressure on the character of Shigaraki, even though by all evidence, Horikoshi has been making sure we remember that All for One is the big bad, right? He is the final boss. No matter how much we want Shigaraki to be that, the way the story's going, that's not how Horikoshi's been taking it. So what if Shigaraki is just the henchman, the second boss that Bakugo fights, and Deku takes down the big guy? Speaking of which, those pro heroes, how are they handling it? Like Hawks and Endeavor and Burnin and all of those guys. How are they handling All for One when these guys are struggling against Shigaraki?
Good question. I mean, like that's a whole other problem.
Yeah. There's two of these guys, you know? Like, it's not just one. So it's like Deku has to go fight Shigaraki and save those heroes there, but it's like, what's happening with the big one, you know?
I guess, I mean, Endeavor versus All for One. With Shoto battling
Endeavor
Goblin,
is getting axed.
Yeah, I can see it. Look, man, I can see it.
Endeavor and All for One is like, I just want to remind you guys, he was there at Kamino with All Might, and he didn't do anything. So I don't have high hopes for Endeavor.
Oh, against All for One?
Yes. Like, the only thing he did during that entire fight was he was just like, All Might, you can't let this guy win. He was like he was there for moral support. He made no attempt to help that man out. I don't expect anything from him.
Okay, so this might be kind of cheesy, but I always saw it as like a respect thing. Like you would always respect the one-on-one, you know?
That'd be cool if it wasn't, you know, the fate of the world.
I mean, yeah, but like it's kind of a heroic thing to do, to like back off and let the number one hero take down the number one villain. Otherwise, you just be getting in the way, you know?
if Superman's getting his butt kicked by Darkseid, I don't want Wonder Woman and Flash just saying, "You can do this, Clark."
All right, fair enough.
Like, I get what you're saying, and like, yeah, that's cool in theory. But what if he lost because you just sat there as a cheerleader?
All Might ain't about to lose, man. It's All
Yeah, because he's
Might.
got plot armor. But I'm saying they don't know that.
For real.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Endeavor struggled against that high end Nomu. I don't know if he's strong enough to deal with this guy.
Yeah. Well, that was a
He's
long
far
time
from
ago.
strong enough.
That was a long time ago, but I don't think he's progressive the
Yeah,
way
it
the
was a long
kids
time
are,
ago.
because they're growing and improving. I feel like the pro heroes are probably just stagnant most of the time. So I don't think he got any better since then. Personally,
I
maybe
really
I'm wrong.
can't get out of my head like that whole team getting decayed, dude. Like, I'm so nervous right now.
I am terrified, especially like we get this really cool shot of them on like page 7 of the latest chapter, and Best Genius is like, "We must strive for victory," and they all say "Hell yeah," except for Sun Eater, and then he follows it up with "I mean hell yeah," which is just funny. But it's like they're screwed. I don't know what to expect, because a character like Nejire, what is she going to do? I have no basis on how powerful she is. You know, she throws spirals at you. What do they do though?
Who knows? I guess we're gonna have to figure that out, huh?
Yeah, she's the unknown in this battle, because we know everybody else. Mirako is basically a glorified boxer, so she's not going to do much, no matter how much we want her to. But I feel like Sun Eater and Nejire are the wild cards, because, again, I'm still banking on Sun Eater becoming some sort of kaiju monster thing, some sort of kraken that'll help out depending on what he's got in his belt. And Bakugo just refusing to die. This is going to be an epic fight. I just don't know if it's going to go our way.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm just like, is Bakugo gonna sacrifice his gauntlets and it's still not gonna be enough?
This is where he needs Kirishima. You know?
Yeah, for real.
That's something I wanted to ask you guys. Like, I think Horikoshi's doing a decent job of like showing us what all of the kids are doing, but like Kirishima is, I say, of the Class A students, he's in the upper echelon, right? He's a part of the main group, or just outside of the main group. Where has he been, and where is he? Like, we know Ida is with Shoto, but what is Kirishima doing?
Ain't he with one of the groups?
I don't remember seeing him. I could be wrong. And if he is with one of the groups, maybe it's just the group was dealing with the Nomus or something, and so it wasn't really relevant. But
he needs to be on the front line. That's
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying.
Like, he needs to be in this Bakugo group.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why isn't he here?
Same with the kid with like from class 1B with the medal. I'm like, get his ass up here.
He should fight Dabi, because isn't he
Yeah.
like fire resistant?
Oh, see, what's up with these team splits, man? We saw a few 1B students, but like we still haven't really seen the vast majority of them.
Yeah, like Mudman, right? I feel like he'd be a great counter to Decay. That's just me, though. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the problem with My Hero Academia, in the sense that like Horikoshi created 2 classes worth in this series. That's 40 students. I know it's going to be hard to find something for them all to do, but you get to a point where it's like somebody has a quirk. Like, again, Mushroom Girl could just fill Shigaraki's lungs with mushrooms and kill him right there. Why isn't she on the front lines?
He might have a quirk to negate that.
You never know unless you try. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, how many quirks does he have right now?
What was that, Isaac?
I mean, how many quirks do he have right now? Do we know that?
No, they never tell us, and that's one of the things I hate about All for One and this new version of Shigaraki, is that whenever you have an idea of what's going to happen, it's just like, oh, here's a new ability. Like even in this chapter, it kind of annoys me how it's just like, this isn't a quirk. I can just grow a million hands now. It's like, what? Doesn't make sense. I don't know.
So I was reading on one of the wikis somewhere. I think All for One has like over 20 quirks. So it's like, okay. Horikoshi could literally just write up a negation for any, like, Endeavor could throw a big blast of fire at him and he could have a quirk that could just vacuum it up.
Yep.
Like, for all we know.
Yeah, that's why I don't like All for One's power. That's why, like, Shigaraki getting the power didn't bother me, but having All for One stay around, it's like, I don't know what quirks All for One has. We don't. I think we've only seen maybe 7 or 8 quirks from him anyway. So that still leaves, what, a good 13 or so quirks that we don't even know about. So whatever happens, he could just say, oh, he's got invincibility. Nothing's going to kill him.
Yeah, who knows, man? Like, I'm very... Like, there's 2 different huge threats going on right now, and it's just like, man, which one do you take down first? Does Shigaraki change and help out Deku defeat All for One? Like, what's gonna happen, man? I'm so curious.
In a game like this of like chess, I would probably, if I'm Deku and he has to, like, he's not where he's supposed to be anyway, I might just go straight for All for One. What about you guys? Would you go fight Shigaraki, or would you just go to the big guy? Because I'd just go to the big guy and get him off the board with Endeavor and the pros, and then we go after Shigaraki.
I take the one that's closest.
It's not in Deku's blood to go for All for One, though. He's gonna go protect his homie.
I get it. I totally get that. I'm just like, tactically speaking, they have Eraserhead there to kind of keep Shigaraki down a little bit. It's like, it's just a game of survival now. So I'm like, I don't know. Again, that's probably just me out of fear of, like, I don't know what the pros are doing to stop All for One. They don't have Eraserhead. So that means whatever he pulls, they can't stop it.
I'm going to be 100%. Deku could seriously go All for One as high percentage as he wants to go.
Yeah.
Fajin out of the sky and probably blast right through All for One like a speeding bullet. But we all know that probably wouldn't happen. But it's like, wouldn't you want to do something to kill All for One?
You see, that's that Demon Slayer battle strategy right there. My Hero doesn't, they don't have the guts to do that one.
Oh my God.
That would be pretty sick, because I'm pretty sure he still has a quirk we don't know about either. So I'm sure Deku's going to pull some sort of power out of nowhere.
Doesn't he have one left? Because we got Float, we got Black Whip, Fajin, of course, One for All.
Danger Sense.
First quirk. Danger Sense.
Pretty sure.
So we got 2 left?
1 or 2. I'm leaning towards 1 simply because are we really going to give him 2 extra powers before this thing is over? That's ridiculous.
I know. I wonder what the last ability is. I think it's that we haven't seen the quirk of that spiky Bakugo looking guy.
What if that's the revival quirk that you were talking about? Like, what if they do lose? And like, we've been talking about him passing on the gift, but like, what if he has like a regen quirk that he can just share with everybody, become a healer like Aerith from Final Fantasy VII?
I would not like that at all.
I wouldn't either. I hate this idea.
I mean, he would be pretty OP then if they would go all out on that regard.
Like, the man ain't already the most powerful being on the planet. I think that's why I hate All for One's like power set of like us not knowing what it is, because Deku's so OP, they have to make them even more OP, and that's when things get ridiculous. It's kind of like what Madara was. It's like, we knew how powerful the Kage were, and then Madara shows up, and it's just like, oh, this dude is just, he does everything, huh? He just can't die. He's already dead. It's insane.
And here was the obvious, obligatory Naruto reference for this week.
You better believe it.
Oh, yeah. I question how powerful All for One is going to end up becoming. Like, because I could completely even see like Shigaraki killing him and being the one to embrace being the next All for One, if you will. I don't know. Like, I still wish. I guess part of me still wishes that All for One was taken out.
Yeah, that's how I feel, because think about it. Everything that's happened the last year since the original war, the first war, we've all kind of been second guessing and thinking, what if it went this way? And I feel like that's not good. How we're in the end game of the story, we're still questioning some of the character choices that he's made since that first war, because you do all this setup, the my villain academia, and Shigaraki's getting the power and he's his successor, only to kind of rip the rug from under us. I don't think the series has ever been able to shake it. It's just kind of been a downer. I still enjoy it, but it's kind of had that shadow over it ever since.
Yeah, I think that's the one probably big miss of My Hero Academia for me. I think I've already kind of I was a little irked by the Chosen One narrative, but I think I got over that because I was like, well, most shonen anime and manga are going to embrace that to some degree, I think. But I think I just really wanted All for One to be taken out of the story. Like, if that means that United States of Smash killed him, if it was Shigaraki who killed him, whatever.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to be taken out of the equation. I think that's the one hindrance here, and it's kind of holding the story a little to this, like, okay, who's the main villain, really? Like, there's just so many questions because of it that I just wish it was Shigaraki calling all the shots and like All for One was dead already.
Yeah, in a series that's probably going to end in like chapter 410 or whatever, and we're on chapter 347, we shouldn't be still questioning who the big bad is. That's a problem.
Yeah. But I guess, I mean, you could even allude it to Shigaraki is the big bad for Class 1A, and All for One is the big bad of the entire series, I guess.
Which is why it makes sense for Class A to beat him. Which I don't know how I feel about that, because you mean to tell me Star and Stripe died, but Bakugo's gonna come up here and beat this dude?
Well, I mean, and Star and Stripe helped by
did.
splitting all those quirks up and doing the work she did and using the rules. That helped. I mean, her sacrifice wasn't in vain.
You know who needs to sacrifice themselves for this cause? Captain Celebrity. Am I right, Isaac? He is just not here today. That's in my Vigilantes reference. He's the worst.
Oh, man. Worst. Is he a quirk user?
Captain Celebrity was the #1 hero in the United States, but sex scandals forced him to leave. Vigilantes is crazy.
Oh, my God.
And it's man. Well, I guess that's where Star came from. That's why she's #1 now. It's kind of funny. Vigilantes is a legitimately funny manga.
Okay, in the case that... Oh, sorry, Isaac.
What's the Superman, quote unquote Superman in The Boys? What's that guy's name again?
Homelander.
Yeah, he's basically a more child-friendly version of Homelander.
Oh, God. Yeah, I would love to see that guy sacrifice himself then. Oh, man. Yeah, so, I honestly just kind of hope All for One gets taken out.
Same.
Yeah.
And what if it's Shigaraki? Like, what if instead of decaying Bakugo in them, it's like All for One that starts crumbling? That would be tight.
That would be some Star Wars The Last Jedi,
right?
Betrayal right there. And that's the part I love about The Last Jedi. I would be so down if moves a lightsaber, kills him. Like he thinks he's decaying or killing somebody else, but he's actually taking out all for one.
Right? He just like looks at him and he's like, "Yes, my student," and then he just sees his body like crumbling, like, "Oh, okay, I'm down."
That would be ideal. I don't know what would have to happen though for us to get to that point, considering we're on like 7 different battlefields, which is great. I'm sure again, like you can tell Horikoshi really loves the My Hero Academia anime because he's using a character from Isaac's favorite episode, the beach episode from season 5, in the manga now. So I wonder if a lot of this is gonna just play way better, be paced way better in the anime itself. Like some of these twists, like having these 7 different battlefronts. Imagine if we spend an episode at each of them. We just kind of cycle back and forth. I think that would be a really strong final season of My Hero Academia, if you will. It's kind of like Attack on Titan, where Attack on Titan's manga's ending was a little iffy, but the anime is just like 1,000 times more engaging. I kind of feel like My Hero might end up being that type of show by the time we get to the end of the anime.
I sure hope so, because we need to kind of speed it up here. There's no battling. There's just all just standing around talking. I'm about sick of that.
Yeah, that's why I want to cut back to whatever Dobby's doing. But I guess we have to hang around with Toga for a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm a little sick of that shit. I'm not front, man. Like, I want to see some battling. We've been kind of talking about strategy and all this BS for the last, 7, 8 chapters? Come on now.
Yeah, I mean,
it's that,
be
man.
careful what you wish for, because somebody's going to end up dead.
I'm
Ooh,
still on
good point.
Team Bakugo. I'm still on Team Bakugo is getting axed, so
Yeah, it's still in my note. Both of you guys said there's an 80% chance that Bakugo dies. You said that 1 month ago today.
I think I went with like 90, 95 or something.
You guys went with,
Same.
I guess you were conservative that day. You guys went with 80%. That's what I wrote down. You said it was a 90% chance that All Might would die and an 80% chance that Bakugo would die.
Oh, yep. Okay.
So
I go to 95 with Bakugo. You can change that now.
yeah, I'm not changing that.
I'm going to stick with my 80 here.
I'm going to leave it here only because you have more context now. You changed your prediction because he's now in imminent danger.
Yeah, oof, it's not looking good.
That's why it makes more fun to raise the suspicion level on a higher alert.
We didn't even place a bet on anything, so it's not like it matters.
Yeah, fair point.
Isaac go heighten his percentage after he sees that Bakugo's in danger.
That's why
changing.
That's why I'm not changing it, because it's like I put down that there's a 25% chance that Bakugo dies. That was my prediction. I can't change it like, oh, Bakugo is in danger now. I'm gonna bump that up to 90. I'm not doing that. That's not how this works. You put it down and you leave it until the end of the series.
Okay, so if Bakugo survives this, if he starts grumbling and somehow comes back to life, he's not dying. I'm pretty convinced. Like, okay, that's the third time this kid has almost died in the series, has been saved by Deku. I'm like, all right, he's not dying. He's not dying. Because we had the sludge monster in the first episode. He got in the way of Deku in the war. And if one more time happens, this kid's, first of all, you're lucky as fuck. Second, yeah, he's not dying.
No, he's not. He's not.
What do you usually, what's the saying? 3rd time's the charm?
Yeah, but I don't think it's 3rd time's the charm with this one. I feel like it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You're not gonna fool us a 3rd time is the issue right there. That's why, like, I'm concerned. I'm not too afraid though, because I feel like if Bakugo is on this battlefield, most of that team is probably sick. Like, I feel like Deku's gonna have to get there in time. I don't know if you kill Bakugo in a fight that doesn't go his way with Shigaraki. I feel like he would give him a more heroic death scene unless he just powers up to the level where he can keep up with Shigaraki. So I don't know. It can go either way. I've put down 25%, so I'm not changing my number, but I will let you know I ain't confident in that right now. Was there anything else you guys wanted to cover before we wrap this one up?
We might be pouring one out for Bakugo, fellas.
Same. Nothing more than I'm sorry. I apologize that I have been so quiet, but technical difficulties.
No problemo.
Right now, so.
Let's hope next week isn't Bakugo's funeral. That would be a very sad day. We get we get next week's chapter on Friday. I don't know why. So we get that early. That's neat. Isaac, what's happening here at the Amateur Otaku for folks to look forward to?
Well, we are doing Yo-Yo's Bizarre Stardust Crusader finally. We are doing more Attack on Titan. We are doing My Hero Academia as per usual. And we are also doing, well, Doron. Gonna get Brandon up to speed with that so we can cover it weekly like we do with My Hero Academia. And me and Mike are covering My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which contain pussy bees and other weird stuff in the latest episode.
You guys just have to be there. There's no explaining that at all. Leo, it's always a blast talking to you, buddy. It's been a couple of weeks, so it's been fun, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on, guys. It's been a blast talking some My Hero Academia and catching up. Next time I will be a lot more awake.
Fingers crossed for both of us. What's happening at Geekly Goods this week?
So happening this week, guys, we got a lot coming up. We've got the new A24 film X is coming out soon. I'll have an early review for that. And also a review for this Halo series, DMZ, and Deep Water. So come on by the channel. Lots of reviews lined up for this week. Couple trailer reactions here and there that are going to drop. Some rumors circling around about a couple dropping Monday. But we will have a trailer reaction for Sonic and for Halo tomorrow as well. So come on through to the channel, youtube.com/geeklygoods. And then you can find me at Leo Rydell GG.
Awesome. Heard some good stuff about Halo. I know that they had a press junket by the time you guys are listening to this. It would have been yesterday. So we should be getting a lot of Halo content coming up. And I can't wait to see your reviews, man. See what you think of it.
Thank you.
So for me, you guys can find me at Novice Cinephile on every social media except for Instagram because somebody stole my name. I don't know why. But on my YouTube channel, you can check out a reaction to Fooly Cooly Progressive episode 3. You can find a Spider-Man video called Flip Flip Boom. You just got to watch it. Don't ask what that means. But if you know, you know. You can also find my writing at collider.com. I also was a guest on the Banana Meter podcast. You can listen to that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We were talking the Atom Project, Turning Red, and how the Batman and Spider-Man just keep dominating the box office. It was a great time. I was hanging out with Ricky Valero. So make sure you check that out. And like Isaac said, Shingeki no Kyojin, Attack on Titan's coming to an end. Every single episode is going to be recapped here live about 8 o'clock Eastern every Sunday. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that or check out the replays here on the channel. Because there's only, like 3 or 4 episodes left, I think, Isaac?
I believe so. There's a rumor of them not stopping not at the ending is wrong, but that's a story for another day.
We need two extra episodes to finish up the ending of Attack on Titan, and we only have 4. So that's going to be a wild ride as we get to the end of that series. Also, you can find Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet Fan, co-founder and co-host of the Amateur Otaku at Scarlet Fan 52. And Isaac didn't plug his handle, but you see it here on the screen. It's Emblem Maniac on Twitter, Facebook, yada, yada, yada. So we will catch you guys next week. Go Beyond. Plus Ultra.